In today's cook, we are making the festive bake. Now, they sell these classics in Greg's, the bakers. Everyone loves them, but trust me, when you make them yourself, you can make them 10 times tastier. They are really fun to make. I think you're going to enjoy making them, and I think you're going to love this recipe. So, this is the shopping list you're going to need. Shop bought puff pastry. I've gone for 2 sheets. Okay, this is going to allow me to make 6 decent pasties. Now, most people would assume the festive bake is actually turkey, but in fact it's chicken, even in Greg's. Now, the great thing about this recipe, you could use leftovers maybe from your Christmas dinner. I had a roast chicken, so I'm going to be using that. Alternatively, 2 chicken breasts cooked in the air fryer for 14 minutes will do the job. You're going to want some smoked streaky bacon. You're going to want some plain flour, some milk, some butter, some gravy granules. I went for the chicken version here. Some cranberry sauce. Any of the cranberry sauces will go down a treat. And to finish up, you're going to want some packet stuffing and some eggs. So let's cook. The first step is to make the stuffing to the package instructions, and essentially this is just pouring some hot water over and leaving that to suck up all the moisture. Once that's done, after a few minutes, we roll the stuffing into small little balls. Okay, small little balls. You don't want them too big because, you know, we're going to be putting these inside of the bakes. Once you've made the little balls, we'll stick these in the air fryer. I put some greaseproof paper over the bottom because I knew that it would probably stick. A little bit of oil, stuck it in the air fryer, 10 minutes to start with, and see how it crisps up. Okay, 200 degrees. In the meantime, we can cook our bacon. 6 rashers of streaky bacon went in for 6 minutes. You can see that the stuffing needed a little bit more, so I shook it up a little bit, put it back in there for an additional 5 minutes. Okay, once that's done, open the trays and let them cool, both the bacon and the stuffing. So now we need to start this sauce. Now, you could just make really super thick gravy, but for my money, I prefer a sauce. So I make a bechamel sauce by melting 35 grams of butter. Once that's foaming, I add in 30 grams of flour, so slightly less. I then cook that flour through until I get like quite a foaming consistency. And then I get 300 milliliters of milk, and I slowly pour it into the paste mixture that has formed. Okay, and I keep combining, keep mixing it until it starts to get into like the beginnings of a sauce. Now, when I did this last time, a lot of people put loads of comments about the fact is you can just throw it all in and whatever. Now, do what works for you. The way that I've always done it is to do that process and then slowly amalgamate it. And then kind of halfway through, I thought, do you know what? I'll just chuck it in and see how it goes. Now, what I would say is I prefer to do it more slowly. At this process, I then got out the whisk, and you start whisking it. And then this will start to really thicken up. You can see I've split up the video. A lot of people, when they throw it all in, it seems to me that they then cook it quite slowly. But for me, I want this process done as quickly as possible. So I've got kind of like a low to medium heat. And then it basically, this process that I split up is only about a minute, just over a minute, until it really starts to thicken. You can see that it's kind of like double cream consistency. And then at this point, I add in 2 teaspoons of this chicken gravy. You can see it's already started to bubble whilst I was getting that gravy out. So it's already getting even thicker. We want this to be super thick. Now, the gravy granules will make it even thicker. Okay, and that's what we want. Now, you want that to cool down. So what I would do is put it in a bowl, put some cling film right over the top of the sauce so it doesn't create skin or anything. Leave it to cool, and then we start creating. We get our first sheet of pastry and just get a knife and score it into 6. Now, what you could do, which I didn't do, is actually cut it into 6, and that's what I would recommend. Okay, and I'll talk about that in a second. We then get the cranberry sauce, put a nice dollop on each of the 6 pieces. Then we get our sauce. You can see how thick this sauce is. It is super thick. Now, we want a couple of teaspoons of this. Don't be stingy. Okay, then we get our stuffing balls, and you can see the size that I did. What I did was I broke them into two, each stuffing ball, and then I put essentially 4 pieces onto each bake. Now I could have put 5 pieces, I think, but I went for 4 in this instance. Then get your bacon, which has cooled down, and just shred it into lovely little bits, and then sprinkle that across all of the bakes. Okay. Then you get your chicken. As I said, you could have cooked up a chicken breast in the air fryer. Check out my video for chicken ham bakes, and I show you exactly how to cook the chicken breast perfect. As I say, I had the chicken breast off of a roast chicken that I did yesterday, so I just chopped it up into chunks. Again, do not be stingy with your chicken. You are not Greggs, okay? You can put as much as you like, and you can pile it as high as you think you can get away with, okay, when you put the top piece of pastry over. You want a nice lot of chicken because, you know, you want to enjoy this. You want to taste this chicken, right? And then we top it off with another couple of teaspoons of this sauce. Remember, this will all amalgamate once it's cooking. When it starts to melt again, and kind of will filter through everything, but make sure you've got a decent amount. Then we get our egg wash and do it all around the outsides. Now, as I said, I would recommend that you cut this into 6, okay, and then kind of have a little bit of separation between the 6 bakes, because I decided I would do it all in one and then pour over then the second sheet of pastry, and it was a little bit of a challenge to make sure that it all spread across and cutting it, and you know, all that palaver. So as I say, I would recommend cutting your pastry into 12 pieces, and then you can do each one of them on an individual basis rather than trying to hack it, which essentially is what I did. Fortunately, you know, I'm used to kind of doing these sort of choices, so it came out great in the end anyway. So once you've done that, you kind of need to push down the pastry all around it so that the filling is within the middle, okay, and it's not pouring out. Squeeze down the edges, and then get yourself a fork and squeeze it. Now, another thing I would say is don't leave your pastry out for too long. Now, you want it to be out so it's not hard and you can unroll it, but you don't want it to be too long, otherwise it gets a bit too soft and sticky, which again is what I had here because I left it out for so long recording this video. Now, score the top of it, make a little bit of hole in the top so there's a little bit of air to come out. Stick these in the air fryer. You could cook them in the oven, they'll take a little bit longer, but egg wash them. I put a little bit of the dry stuffing mix on one of them. You know, I wasn't too keen on it, but I did it anyway. And then put them in the air fryer for 180 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. When there's about 4 minutes to go, you'll see the top is beautiful and golden. I would flip them over because what I have found is that in the air fryer, that little section in the middle, the pastry at the bottom, does not cook unless you flip them over. And because the top is perfect anyway, it won't get destroyed. And you can see once they're cooked, they look golden and delicious. So just for jokes here, I got the old Greggs bag that I got when I got the tester one that I tested at the Festive Bake the other day, stuck it in the bag. And then you can see this is the difference between the bake with the stuffing crumb on the top and the one without. They both look absolutely fantastic, super golden and cooked all the way through. You know, it's a bit bigger than a Greggs bake. You can see you've got the air fryer molding at the bottom where it's kind of sunk into it, which is kind of quite unique. Let's cut it in half and take a look at the inside. There you go. You can see the bacon, you can see the cranberry sauce, you can see the stuffing, you can see the chicken, and it looks absolutely glorious. I hope everyone has a great festive time this year. Merry Christmas, and look forward to having a phenomenal 2025. Hi guys, welcome back to the taste test. Today's cook was a Festive high street copycat classic, and that of course is the Festive Bake, made popular by Greggs. Now, I'm a fan of Greggs. I think they do two things absolutely elite. Sausage rolls, you really can't beat them. The fact that they're always like warm, greasy, soft. The pastry is always decent. And the other thing they do great, in my opinion, is the mince pies. The best mince pies, Christmas mince pies anywhere. The 6-pack or 8-pack, 6, right? I can't remember. In a little, you know, one in a row. They are the best mince pies, period. They are so, so good. I don't mind their bakes. They're okay. But the Christmas festive bake, I always get it. I always end up getting it. And I always feel a little bit let down. It always feels a little bit bland. You kind of feel like it's going to be so good and then it's not. So I thought, let's try and make this a little bit better. Let's make something that is elite, okay? And if you follow my channel, you know that a few months ago, I made a ham and chicken bake a la Greg's style that was so good. So I thought it would be only fitting to do my version of the festive bake, okay? And that's what we've got. You know, these come out really good. They're actually really fun to make. I really enjoy making these sorts of things. They're fairly simple. There is a few steps. You could simplify it, of course, but where's the fun in that? So let's go for a taste. Wow. And that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That's not bland. I bought the festive bake. That's why I've got there was next to nothing in it. It was just crying out for a bit more, you know, and that's why nice chicken, smoked bacon, little bit of cranberry sauce, and then the secret here is the actual sauce. Now a lot of people will just throw gravy in it. I think that's what they will think will be the right thing. No, it's got to be sauce. It's got to be nice, thick sauce that's really going to make this recipe. Loads of fresh cooked chicken. Now you could go with cooking chicken breast. That's what I did in the ham and chicken version I did a couple of months ago. I just happened to have cooked this roast chicken yesterday. And I thought it would go great in these because I was going to batch up 6 of these bad boys today. So, if you've enjoyed this video, thumbs up, subscribe, comment, whatever you like. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week for another video.